Hi, I'm Stephen Lai. I'm the founder of Super Developments and the creator of the CRM for Property Success program. We help property investors just like you streamline and secure more deals faster through our proven systems. Over the next 25 minutes, I'm going to be sharing with you how having the right systems, processes and help in place can really transform your property business, helping you make more money and saving you a ton of time. I'm going to be focusing on you and the things that you do every day to get more deals over the finish line. And of course, everyone loves a gift. So if you stay to the end of the presentation, I've got a gift just for you. So let's get started. Now, a little bit about me. I am a corporate escapee. And several years ago, I used to run a global sales team at a tech company. And here are some of the FTSE 100 blue chip companies that we used to support. I say we, that's myself, and as well as my business partner, Chris, who I'm going to introduce a little bit later on. We help them connect, collaborate, and to engage with their international stores and partners. And that's what we did for over 10 years. And along the way, I became a dad and started a family. So that's my little one, that's Thomas. And what I found when Thomas came along was that 3-hour commute and missing bath time, well, it didn't really sit very well with me. I wanted to spend more time with my family. And also along the way, I became an accidental landlord. And what I found was that my property investments were making more money than my day job. And that was probably the first indicator that really I needed to get out of the rat race. And then on the right-hand side, that is my amazing mum. My mum who's given me those wonderful, ever youthful Asian genes. Now, sometimes with elderly parents, they require assistance. Now, I'm not sure whether you care for an elderly member of your family or you know someone who does, but sometimes when things aren't quite right, or they just need to reach out and make sure everything is okay with some reassurance, and your job isn't flexible, it really becomes quite challenging. And balancing those school commutes with the corporate responsibilities and the challenges looking after my mum, really, it was the signs to really do a career change, make that change. So what did I do? Well, I packed my bags off and I went off to property school and got properly property educated, which is always a mouthful, but I do try my best to get them all out. And property school, what I found is it gives you the knowledge, but it does take time to implement and apply. And for me, it felt like I left an old job only to jump into another new job. And yes, I did work for myself, but I was working a lot longer hours. And what I found was knowledge alone was not enough. I still had challenges, and these are the mistakes that I made. Firstly, I literally had post-it notes stuck everywhere. I was relying on my age-old memory, spreadsheets, emails to keep track of everything I was doing. I was disorganized. I didn't have the right systems in place. And secondly, I was winging it. A lot of the time I was making it up as I go along. To be honest, I was being inconsistent, maybe missing out important steps because I was relying again too much on the memory again. And looking back, I was probably coming across as not very professional, unprofessional, which is not ideal when you're talking to vendors, investors, or other property professionals, just like yourselves in tonight's session. And thirdly, I didn't have any help. I was feeling overwhelmed. I had more leads that I could handle, and I was doing everything myself because I couldn't figure out how to get this stuff off my plate. And worst of all, I wasn't focusing on my IGTs, my income generating tasks. And that's when I had my first aha moment. I have to give a big shout out to Kitty, my wife, who is the clever one, who reminded me, how did you solve these problems in your old job? Didn't you need systems in place to do all that heavy lifting? Didn't you streamline that repetitive stuff that you do every day? Didn't you build a team around you to give you that support? So why don't you apply your previous experience, in particular that thing you call CRM, and use that in your business? And that's why she's the clever one. So let's discuss the elephant in the room. What the heck is a CRM? Or a customer relationship management, CRM. What the heck does it mean? Well, often I like to refer it to as contact relationship management. Why is that? Because sometimes when you're in property, you don't have any customers, but you've got a ton of contacts. And it's better known as a tool in the sales world, but you can apply the same principles into your property business. Now, if you're not familiar with CRMs, or you don't come from CRM land, like what we do, where we eat, breathe, and sleep CRM, names alone may be not too helpful. So here are some of the common reasons not to get started. It's what people often say to us. It's scary. You don't know where to start. You can't download the solution. What you get is a blank system that doesn't quite fit, or what's supposed to happen next. So you press a few buttons, you click some links, and sooner or later, you quickly log out because you can't figure it all out. Does that sound familiar? Now, these are the reasons why any business should use a CRM. And let's focus on the big one, time. You're probably super busy focusing on all the demanding things in your property business. So here's some questions for you. Does your system allow you to collaborate and delegate? Because if not, you're going to be doing all the work. And then there's the stuff that's repetitive. And let's take templates, because everyone knows what a template is. Do you use templates? Because by using templates, all your correspondence is more consistent and you can reduce the risk of typos. But one of the biggest benefits is the time saving. All that time you save by applying a template, which you can personalize, and this compounds over time. And as a result, responses are quicker with less hassle, and this raises your perceived profile and you appear more professional. And the reasons to use a CRM specifically for property. Networking and finding deals are two of the most common challenges, and we're going to cover these two biggies a little bit later on this evening. But there are other repetitive activities. Maybe it's developing relationships with investors, nurturing relationships with vendors, or checking in with your agents. Where are you focusing your time? What drives your wins? But how's that going to help me with my property business, Stephen? Well, there's two main challenges that property investors come across. Number one is finding money, and second is finding deals, which leads me nicely into leads for networking. So networking, how much time and energy are you spending finding investment? Is it 30, 40, 50% of your day? How many events do you attend per month, online or offline? Now, they often say your network is your net worth, but you know what? Networking is hard. Well, maybe you've not been shown how to network, because that was me when I first started. And going to a ton of networking events, 3 months later, all I had to show for it, for all my time and hard work, were a stack of business cards. Now let's think about what typically happens at a face-to-face event when we're not in these situations. Well, don't you rock up in a room full of strangers? You get that awkward feeling, maybe butterflies at the bottom of the stomach. Or maybe you make a beeline to the bar, you compose yourself and you start a conversation. It's noisy. Words are tumbling out of your mouth. Words are tumbling out from the person in front of you. And you're relying on the age-old memory, concentrating so hard to remember. And for me, I often felt that as soon as I turned right to move on to the next person, all of the things that the person I just spoken to, I just forgot them. I don't know why I had that problem. I'm not sure whether that sounds familiar to you. So if that is a challenge, here's your first top tip and trick of the evening: how to deliver a consistent message without breaking a sweat. Let me introduce you to Form. Form, what is it? It's a simple framework to deliver the same consistent message. And what does it stand for? Well, the F stands for from, where are you from? The O stands for your occupation, what do you do? The R stands for the reason why you are attending or coming to this particular event. And M is your message, FORM. And you can use the same framework to ask questions without overthinking anything. I like to use the acronym KISS, KISS. Keep it super simple. And when you answer the question later on, if you'd like to ask me a question, I like you to use Form to introduce yourself. That way you can introduce yourself to the group using this acronym, FORM. And I'll go first. So the first one, F. Hi, I'm Stephen. I'm based in Chessenden in Surrey, the home of the Wild Adventures. Oh, my occupation, I'm a property investor, but I'm also a systems specialist. You might have guessed already, I'm a big fan of the 80s, and this evening, I'm delighted to be sharing some content as your speaker. And R, if you find networking awkward, I know how to solve that. And M, our message, well, we help property investors. We streamline and secure more deals faster through our proven systems. I'll be standing by the imaginary water cooler during the break, and if that sounds of interest, then let's start a conversation. And you can apply this takeaway and put it into your networking straight away. FORM. Hope that's useful. So FORM was the simple framework to deliver that consistent message. Now you can use this same framework and now take that to capture those details at the back of business cards. And if you do that, you might need the secret weapon of choice, which is the ultrafine Sharpie permanent marker. Why is that? Have you noticed when you go to networking events and people print out those really swanky business cards, they've got that really nice plastic sheen on it. And then you try and write something at the back of the card using either a pen, using a ballpoint pen or a pencil, and it just won't write. You're trying to carve into that, whatever the notes are, it just doesn't work. This bad boy will work on absolutely anything. Okay, so if you wanted to capture details, I highly recommend you. Ultrafine Sharpie pen will absolutely write on anything. So we're now moving on to those batch of business cards that you have captured. So what do you do with them next? How do you get it from the physical card into your system, your CRM, in 3 easy steps? And this is one of the most common challenges where you can get stuck. So just check out this video and I'll take you through those 3 simple steps. So I'm just going to play the video now. So step 1, you fire up your scanner that's hooked up to your CRM. Step 2, scan the card. And step 3, it gets transcribed and saved straight into your CRM. It's that easy. Right, so now it's in your CRM, let's move on. You've got all the leads in your CRM. So how do you begin to reach out to the leads that you've met? Well, we call this the follow-up. So the pop quiz question, I'm going to show you 2 examples. The one on the left is long tail copy, and the one on the right is a video message. And I want you just to put either a left or a right in the chat box for me to let me know which one you find more engaging. So here's the first one, that's long tail copy. And here's the second one. That's the video message. Let me ask you this question. What's going through your mind if I sent you a video message? Is it more engaging? Is it more personal? Is it more impactful? So here comes the fun facts. 20% will read the text, 80% will watch the video. And is that any surprise? Now, the objective is not just to deliver the message that no one reads. It's all about engagement. Now, networking, it's got a number of distinct stages. I'm going to just touch on those. First of all, there's the before. Now, you can separate yourself from the crowd when you're going to a particular event, particularly if it's been published on social media, by maybe putting a message out there to say, hi, I'm going to be coming to this particular event. If anybody wants to come over and have a chat or engage with me, then, you know, come along, don't be a stranger. And in doing so, you're breaking the ice even before you've gone to the event itself. And then during, we talked about the FORM, what you're capturing. Those 4 questions are going to help you create those pertinent details to make your message more personal versus just copy and pasting the same old generic message. And then there's the after, the video messages that you can combine with your email. So this is an example of the video message. So imagine if you haven't received a video message, but you knew who I was, I met you at an event, I'm waving to you. Do you think it's pretty cool? If there's no one else that's using videos, why don't you use videos and separate yourself from the noise and the competition? Here's another pop quiz question. No right answers, no wrong answers. When you go networking, would you spend 4 minutes with 20 people or 20 minutes with 4 people? Again, please put your thoughts in the chat box. And whilst you're doing that, let me just take you through those stages of lead generation, because at this point, that's what you're doing. You're going to these events, you're generating leads. So step 1 was the business card. You use business cards to help you network more effectively. Step 2 was the emails. You should be sending personalized emails to follow up. Step 3, qualify. Each lead might have potential value. Now, when a lead responds, it's your opportunity to start a conversation. Step 4 is the discovery, but it's not just about having a chat. You're discovering whether or not you can help this person who's reached out to you. What does a win-win look like for both parties? And step 5 is the time. Now, there is a particular formula. It's called the 7-11-4. 7 hours, 11 touch points, 4 different locations. And this algorithm has been tested. I don't know where. I can't give you a statistical piece around that. But if you spend 7 hours with someone across 11 touch points, a touch point might be an email, a phone call, a video call, a face-to-face meeting outside of these unique times, coffee, whatever it might be, 11 touch points in 4 different locations, something magical happens. Whether it's online or whether it's in person, you begin to know, like, and trust that person. So just have a think about that, of the relationships that you have developed. Have you had at least 11 touch points? And how much time have you spent with that person before they know, like, and trust you? Because people, they invest in people, and building deep, meaningful relationship, well, that takes time. So you want to give yourself a competitive advantage by using a system with a framework to follow to have more discovery calls. Now, wise man once said, the secret to making more money is to close more deals. And to do that, you need to, number 1, have more discovery calls, and 2, close more discovery calls, because the fortune is in the follow-up. Okay, we're going to move on to finding deals. So here comes the next pop quiz question. How much time and energy are you spending on finding deals out of your typical day? Is it 30, 40, 50, 60% of your day? So whether you know it or not, all the stuff you're currently doing in your business, this is what it's going on, or you're about to start doing. And that is if you are super organized. But in reality, is it a lot more like this? There's the constant background noise, there's personal stuff, there's family commitments, and there's all that stuff you're trying to juggle. You run the risk of deals starting to fall through the cracks. And if you're not already overwhelmed, you soon will be when your business starts to grow. Getting things set up right from the start will ensure you never have to experience the pain that most business owners go through. I don't want that to happen to you. So let's take a moment and delve a little deeper. These are the 3 most common challenges we see time and time again. Whether you're in a startup phase or a scale-up phase of your business, without the right systems, you're going to be disorganized. Without a clear process to follow, you're going to be winging it. And without any help, you're soon going to be overwhelmed. Combined, these 3 challenges, we call them the 3 pedals of pain. You run the risk of losing money, wasting valuable, precious time, and limiting your true potential. So let's take a look at what life looks like without the right systems. Here are some telltale signs you are disorganized. But actually, let's put some focus on that. Look around you. Do you find that you've got post-it notes on your computer? Maybe phone numbers and conversations scribbled on bits of paper, maybe a ton of browser tabs open on your laptop, and you're trying to remember who you've spoken to and what you need to do next. And that is in your organized office. But it's more painful when you're out and about and all you've got is your phone in your back pocket. Does that sound familiar to you? And why is that? Well, let's take a look at all of the stuff that you need just to get one single deal across the line. So, kicking off, there's the deal itself. That might include the property address, the asking price, the strategy, your headline figures, return on investment, refurb costs, and so on. Then there's a stack of documents. Maybe there's photos from your viewings, floor plans, EPC reports, spreadsheets and analyzers, contracts, offer letters, investor packs. And some of these, well, they're going to require signatures. And now you've got emails flying back and forth, which you really need to file away somewhere safely. And to pull this deal together, you're having multiple conversations with a ton of people, like your investor, the vendor, the estate agent, mortgage broker, solicitor, and all various members of your power team. You are talking to people over the phone, responding to emails, constant pings or text messages, and let's not forget face-to-face meetings. And the natural place to put all that information is in your head. Okay, so you might feel that you don't need a system until you've secured a number of deals. But these are all the critical details that matter regardless of how many deals you are juggling. But let's take it to the next level. Let's scale that up. Maybe today you can handle maybe 1 or 2 deals at a time, but can you handle 3, maybe 4 or 5 deals? Unless you are super organized, it can easily become overwhelming. Life can get very messy very quickly. Does that sound familiar to you? So what you need is a system, and that system is a CRM. So how does a CRM help? Well, it gives you a home for everything related to your deals across 3 core activities. There's the property details, there's the documents relating to the deals, conversations and people. They all live in one place rather than here, there, and everywhere. Your CRM should be the brains in your business. Give your brilliant mind a rest and let the CRM do the remembering for you by capturing all your deals, documents, conversations, and people in one place. They combine together to become your one version of the truth in your CRM. We're going to show you why a CRM is great for this. We call it its super special power that underpins what drives your business. So what does a deal look like in a CRM set up specifically for property? Well, the first thing you'll notice is that everything is laid out and organized just the way you need it. You can see all the details at a glance. They all have a home, no fumbling through spreadsheets. You can see the property address, opportunity value, number of rooms, purchase price, and all the financials in one place. You're only one click away from every person involved in the deal. And that could include the vendor, the agent, investor, mortgage broker, architect, and the list goes on. It doesn't matter how complex the deal is. So if you need to get back in touch, you can easily pick up where you left off. Likewise, you've got all of the documents attached to the deal, so no more winging it. No more digging around to find that floor plan, the EPC report, or the photo to confirm that the roof was slanted and not flat. Everything is in one place. And finally, for every deal, you can easily see what you've done and what you need to do next. This is your deals to-do list. So no more post-it notes or missing important reminders that just gets lost amongst that noise, or you're trying to hunt around in your inbox on your phone to find that all important email that just does not want to be found. Instead, all your emails are here attached to your deals, so you can see at a glance who said what, when, and how. So let's take a look at what life looks like without a consistent process in place. You may come across as unprofessional, which is not ideal if you're attempting to attract investors. You might be missing important steps because you're relying too much, again, on your memory. You run the risk of losing deals because you're not consistent, which takes you longer to achieve your results, preventing you from scaling your business. So how does the CRM help with all that? Well, it gives you a framework to follow. It shows you at a glance the progress of every deal, what needs to happen next, the who, the what, and the when, with reminders to follow up. And it does all of that for you with a pipeline. But what the heck is a pipeline? Well, a pipeline is a process or workflow broken down in a number of stages. And at each stage, there are a set of activities. And the idea is to complete each of the activities in each stage before you move on to the next. And in doing so, it eliminates the risk of any important details or activities falling through the cracks. So here's an example of a pipeline and how a deal would progress through it, starting from left and going to the right. Now, 90% of people, they don't use pipelines. Instead, they wing it or rely on their memory far too much. But this is where the real power of a pipeline comes in. You have got a repeatable set of steps to follow. There's no more winging it. And the more often you repeat the process, the more confident, polished, and professional you'll become. As a result, your success rates will rise. You'll secure more deals and your business will grow faster. So what does a pipeline look like in a CRM? Well, it gives you the high-level view of how your business is performing. You can see at a glance the progress of each deal, where to focus your efforts, and ultimately how much money each deal could be making you. Now, without a pipeline, you can't see that. It's probably a finger in the air, or maybe a gut feeling, or maybe you've got a ton of time having to pull together from different places the pertinent bits of information, and that's no way to run a profitable business. Now, as a deal moves through the pipeline from one stage to the next, tasks are automatically created for you. The pipeline provides a framework. There's no need to think about what you have to do next. You just follow the pipeline to get the deal across the line faster. And in doing so, you've removed the risk of missing any important steps and saved yourself a ton of valuable time. Now, I wouldn't do my favorite film justice without giving it a name drop. One of my favorite films is The Karate Kid. And it really helped me understand the importance of mindset. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Now, if you've not seen the 80s classic cult movie, here's my personal take on it. So there's Daniel's son, our unlikely hero on the left-hand side, who is having a tough time. He's getting beaten up by the school bullies, and that is the problem. He eventually meets Mr. Miyagi, his guide, the guy on the right-hand side, and Danielson wants Mr. Miyagi to teach him a ton of moves. And those are the distractions or the shiny pennies. But no, Mr. Miyagi, he teaches him the one move, the wax on, the wax off. And why is that? Because it takes practice to master the process. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Now, hopefully, if you've seen Karate Kid, that will bring back some very fond memories. And if you haven't, I would highly suggest you take out that 80s blockbuster and just enjoy the movie. Okay, so what does life look like with no help? Well, as a business, we do too much ourselves. And this is the main reason why businesses fail. As a business owner, we have the inability to let go of everything we're doing because we believe it's quicker to do it ourselves, or it's cheaper to do it ourselves, or we'll do it better ourselves. Now, until you are able to let go of the stuff that's on your plate, you're going to become distracted. It can quickly become overwhelming. And worst of all, it prevents you from focusing on your IGTs, your income generating tasks. So how does the CRM help with all of that? Well, getting everything out of your head into a system, you've created your one version of the truth. Your CRM becomes the brains of your business. You're putting everything you need into that pipeline. You've created a framework that anyone can follow. And it's not just for your benefit, but for your existing team or your future team when you begin to scale. And by combining both of these missing parts of your business, the system and the process, you can outsource the grunt work and finally get it off your plate. Start working on your business and not in your business. And this is where the power of pipelines can really transform your business and your life. Now, by using a pipeline, you can start to identify what work you can get off your plate. Everything that's disappearing off the screen at the moment is work that you don't have to do yourself. By outsourcing your grunt work, you can save yourself hours of work on every deal. Time you can be spending doing what you do best. That might be closing deals. It might be developing deep, meaningful relationships, or even sitting on that beach, sipping on those pina coladas. And if you do this right, you're going to put yourself in the top 5% of property investors. It's what you should be aiming for. But most people, they don't use pipelines. Most people, they don't outsource. But by combining the two, you're giving yourself a huge competitive advantage. 70% of the stuff you're doing today, you can easily get off your plate. And the remaining stuff is the critical stuff that you should be focusing on. This is how you scale your business. Free up your time, focus on your IGTs, your income generating tasks. And let's not forget what you really wanted to do with that extra time. Maybe it's cocktails on the beach, or maybe it's family time, or maybe even better, family time on the beach having cocktails. Time is the one true currency. Now, what I wanted to do was to share with you some of the successes through one of our customers. And Mark here, what I wanted to share with you is his main goals, which was to spend more time with his family and grow some organic vegetables. So I want to kick it over to Mark.
I was getting quite a few leads coming in, and I hadn't any systems or processes set up, and I was getting to just a stage of overwhelm. Just there's so many points of contact in each deal that I was missing vital parts out, and my communication wasn't good, and I knew if I was going to continue in this business, then that had to be fixed. I was winging it a lot, and I was leaving out. I was missing steps along the way, and everything. every deal that was, or every lead. So now that's all eradicated. It's the steps are there. Each time I follow the same steps, so I don't miss anything. I get reminders. There's no way I can miss it. And actually, as a knock-on effect from that, I'm improving every step of the way. Because I'm not winging it, I'm actually doing the same thing over and over again. So every time I do it, I'm actually getting better at it. My confidence is growing, and it's now showing on my close rate on deals. I was closing, I think it was like 1 in 20. I'm now down to like 1 in 8, which I hope to get it down to about 1 in 5. But sure, 1 in 8 I'll settle for.
So, a big thank you there to Mark. Just wanted to share with you some of the main takeaways for Mark. What's the difference? Mark's results: better communication with vendors, agents, and investors. An improved process, no longer winging it. Increased confidence, following the same step over and over again. Double the close rate from 1 to 20 to 1 to 8. Double the income by closing more deals in less time. And of course, the real big win for Mark was that he was able to spend more time with his family and grow some organic vegetables, which I am told are super delicious. So well done, Mark. So a recap: I've shown you how a CRM can benefit and support your networking activities. The before, the during, the after. How to use FORM, form, to capture the details that really matter. Using templates to create personal messages to give yourself back a ton of time. A CRM can benefit and support your deal finding activities. From chaos to clarity, a home for everything related to your deals. From winging it to using a framework, the progress of every deal, the who, what, and when, with reminders to follow up. From overwhelmed to outsourceable, leverage the system and the process. Get the grunt work off your plate, focus on the one thing, and get paid. I hope you got a ton of value from the presentation, and if you want more, then why don't you come and join us? We'll be taking you through the next 10 steps to your own property CRM. It's a deep dive version where we go into detail all of the things that really matter. All of the details are down below in the link, so click it, come join us. Let's rock together. Have yourself a super day.